The governor has called for replenishing the fund for open space purchases and historic preservation. Hundreds of millions of dollars are needed. But as environment correspondent Ed Rogers reports, there's still no decision yet on how to pay for the program.
They've put a new roof and rain gutters on the Church of Our Savior building in South Camden. The former church will be used to house the Camden Shipyard Maritime Museum. It's linked to the city's waterfront and maritime history.
Edward Hazelhurst designed the parish house in 1892 that was constructed using ballast stones brought back from the Arctic by Lieutenant Perry and the great African-American explorer Matthew Henson.
Groups calling for reauthorization of the Garden State Preservation Trust use the church as a backdrop today. Money from the trust is also used for historic preservation programs across the state. Last year, voters approved a ballot question that authorized bonding $200 million for the trust. All of that money has been allocated. It may take longer to reach an agreement on a new funding source. Assembly Environment Committee Chairman John McKeon introduced a bill this week that would authorize the State Board of Public Utilities to charge households a $15 to $30 a year fee for water use. It's more flexible than a water tax bill that's already before lawmakers.
It's an investment we can't afford not to make. We take the politics out of it. We have an annual fee that's in place each and every year that can be flexible depending on what we need to buy the kinds of properties to keep New Jersey green and to keep us economically viable.
But the conversation quickly changes to the political ramifications when you talk about creating a new fee or tax a year before both the Assembly and governor are up for re-election. Assembly Speaker Joe Roberts attended today's Camden press conference to say that reauthorizing the Garden State Preservation Trust is a priority. Roberts says no final decision on a funding solution has been made, but he seemed hesitant about enacting a water use fee.
We're in a really tough economic situation, and I don't think that the people of the state can reach into their pocket for an extra additional penny, no matter how good the purpose is. I think we've got to be very mindful of that.
Roberts says a fairer option may be asking the voters to approve the sale of more bonds.
The public has shown that for the right reason, under the right circumstances, they're prepared to invest in New Jersey. Sometimes they approve bond offerings, sometimes they don't. But I think when you talk about making sure that our history is preserved and that buildings are preserved as well, that there would be some support for it.
Sources say Governor Corzine has not made a decision yet on a funding source he prefers. Ed Rogers, NJN News, Camden.